Welcome to this week's episode of Talk of the Town. My name's Philip Swicegood, and I am back with my good friend and co-host, Dr. Kenneth Harper from Vein Specialist of the South. Now, if you have questions about your vein, summertime's here and we're all a little conscious about our legs, maybe a new vein popped up and you just want to get some clarity, call Dr. Harper and my friends at Vein Specialist of the South today and get the amazing treatment that you deserve. We also want to thank this week's presenting sponsor, which is Piedmont Macon. Piedmont actually provides comprehensive quality healthcare for all of your medical needs. Thanks so much to Piedmont for investing in Middle Georgia and making a show like this possible. Now, if you're just waking up on Saturday morning and you flipped on 13 WMAZ for the first time and you're wondering, what in the world is Talk of the Town? Here's what you can expect week in and week out. A conversation between me, Dr. Harper, and someone in the community that's doing something really neat that we think you should know about. This week it's especially true because I think we are at one of the best kept secrets here in Middle Georgia. We're here today at the beautiful Go Fish Education Center with Tamatha Beckham, who is the Director of Operations here, and we are thrilled to have this conversation today. Tamatha, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank y'all for coming. I'm thrilled to have you on site.
Well, this is a beautiful facility that you guys have here, and I am convinced that not enough people know about this, and that's why we're here today. We want to elevate the visibility of this place and hopefully get some more people in the door here. If someone hasn't been to the Go Fish Education Center before, tell us, what exactly could they expect the first time they're here?
Oh, my stars. Lots of excitement. We have a gallery with fishing exhibits. You can actually catch a sailfish or a dorado. You can catch a largemouth bass or a smallmouth bass. You can hunt virtually. You can play on a virtual sand table, a water table. You can actually go out to our casting pond and catch and release live fish. And you can also go out and see our 200,000 gallons worth of aquarium tanks, and we have live alligators.
That's amazing.
Oh my goodness. Do you get to wrestle alligator?
No, I choose not to wrestle any alligators, but we have had to handle the gators on occasion when we do exhibit restoration and things, but
cool.
We do that safely and under strict guidelines for sure. We like all of our fingers and toes.
Well, Tamara, it's kind of the end of a long day and you look awesome, but tell everybody what happened here today.
Well, today we fished with about 100 second graders from Fitzgerald. So we have fished all day. We have done classroom activities. We have played hard, and we've taught these kids about conservation and the value of just getting outside, turning that phone off, and enjoying the outdoors.
You know, I often think about parents that are, because this is now summertime, kids are out of school. I often think about parents that are probably tired of watching kids looking at screens all day. What an amazing place for them to be able to take them to do outdoor things here.
Absolutely. And the thing that I think is most fulfilling to me, and I've been here for almost 16 years, is when you get out to the casting pond, you rarely see people on their cell phone. They're engaging with one another, they're fishing, they're enjoying their time outside, and just having a great time.
Now, he's a professional fisherman.
I hear this. I hear
He has a fancy boat and everything, and the hats. And
He's our people.
There we
He's
go.
our people.
I'm your people. I'm your people.
You're
I
our people.
really wanted to fish professionally until I met a blonde-headed girl, got married, and I was like, you know what? That'll just be a weekend thing, you know. But I tell you, one of the things that I run into so much is hearing people talk about the affordability issue with fishing. We're here in Perry, Georgia. Just down the road is the Perry Sports Center. They have bass boats there that are now over $100,000. And it's not just there, it's everywhere. And that, in and of itself, prices some people out of this amazing sport that I'm convinced does so many good things, especially for young people.
We do hear that. We do hear that. But I would say across the state of Georgia, there are public fishing areas. They're called PFAs. That's what you may have heard of them called. But they provide opportunities. There's docks. There's access for kayaking. You don't have to go out and buy a $100,000 boat. You can kayak. You can. There's jet skis that you can fish off of. There's all sorts of opportunities to fish. And good old fishing off a bank for brim is one of my favorite things to do, honestly.
Now, you have a hatchery here also. Tell us a little bit tell people what a hatchery is
We do.
and what kind of fish you have and what you do with them.
Right. Okay. So we are owned and operated by the Department of Natural Resources, and we're housed under the fisheries section. And so the fisheries section in Georgia have hatcheries. And so what we do in our hatchery is we raise, spawn, and produce fish to put back in public waters. So we sort of restore native fisheries, the populations in the native fisheries. So fish can't populate as quickly as people catch them and take them out. So hatcheries sort of help that process along. Our hatchery is kind of special because it also does a myriad of different things. We also quarantine and raise fish for our aquariums here. So we sort of are self-sufficient in that way. And we right now are spawning shoal bass. So we've actually spawning shoal bass, and we just got done spawning walleye. So we're making babies and putting them back in public waters.
And you were telling us that, and this was right before we started, that whenever you guys drained the lake out back, that you had 4 or 5 bass that were between 8 and 10 pounds.
We had some large bass.
And
They were well fed.
And they were
well fed.
big bass.
They were
I'd
well
love to
fed.
catch. But you guys took these bass and you actually put them in some of these public lakes. Is that right?
Yes, we will take those bass. We've got them. We're holding them now, but they will be put back out into public waters, so people can experience a trophy catch.
You know, as a child, I grew up in Northeast Georgia,
Oh, true, yeah.
and it's my hometown, Stephens County. Go Indians! But we would occasionally, our vacation would be a picnic up in the mountains, and we would go to the fish hatchery where they were raising all the trout out there. Have you been there?
Yeah.
I mean, how many? As a kid, there were millions of trout in there, and they were stocking the trout streams in North Georgia.
And I will say, we may be jumping ahead a bit on the conversation, but we here at Go Fish, those are also state-owned hatcheries that raise those at Burton and Buford hatcheries. And they are so kind to share trout with us during the winters. So we actually stock our casting pond with trout. So it's a great opportunity for Middle Georgians to actually catch some trout in the winter months.
So in Middle
Go Fish.
Georgia, you can catch trout
in the winter.
here in the winter.
pond.
Yeah.
That's
And-
amazing.
And to top it all off, the greatest thing about that is after we fish them in March, we have a catch and keep month, so you can actually come catch and harvest those trout.
And there's nothing better than fresh trout.
Oh gosh, there's a line
on
at the door.
grill.
There's
That's
a line
right.
at the
That's
door.
right.
So, how is this organization? What have you seen in fishing in Georgia as a result of this facility?
Oh my goodness, yeah. I think there's just more of awareness to the sport of fishing. I don't know if y'all have heard of or are familiar with the popularity of the school programs, the fishing teams and bass, the bass trail fishing teams. My son was a product of that, and now he fishes on the Georgia Southern fishing team.
Really?
So
Wow.
yeah, so we are just developing and reactivating older anglers that haven't fished for many, many years. We're giving them an opportunity to come back, and we're sort of rejuvenating the sport.
One of the reasons I think that's exactly right is because in fishing especially, it's actually kind of like golf. If your dad doesn't golf, it's kind of hard to get into it. Same thing with fishing. If one of your parents is not into fishing, it's really hard to break into it because there's so many little nuances.
Yes.
There's so many little things you have to be able to learn. And straight in front of us, there's a wall that has a bunch of different fishing lures on it.
Right.
That from start to finish, about any sort of lure that you can imagine. Can you tell us a little bit about that and some of the education that you guys have surrounding that?
Those are antique lures that are on that wall, and those were donated to the center back in 2010 when we opened, and we're super proud. Some of those are Georgia wooden made. We had a gentleman, Mr. Crowley, who donated a good bit of those, and he was working on a book when he unfortunately passed away with cancer, but in his will he left those to us, and we're super proud to have them. And the kids love to look at that. If you'll notice on that wall, there's like a lure that's like a baby duck. And kids are like, you can't catch a fish with a baby duck, but bass eat baby ducks. They eat
All the
snake.
time.
They eat all sorts of things. So it's a good example of what you can use to catch fish.
I've always said the only reason that bass do not eat sea-doos is because they're not big enough.
That's right.
If a bass was big
That's
enough,
right.
it would eat a sea-doo.
It
But
would.
by God's
It would,
grace,
if
they
they were
don't get
hungry
big enough,
enough.
so you
You're
are
right.
safe on a sea-doo these
You
places.
are right. You're right.
So, if you were coming with your family, tell us what a visit is usually like.
Okay.
Right.
So you enter the facility, and then you'll come straight down the hall, and you can either take a left or you can take a right. If you take a left, that'll take you to our outdoor aquariums, and we have about 200,000 gallons worth of aquarium tanks out there with native Georgia fish. It's really a great idea. It's kind of designed to be like a walk through Georgia. You start in the mountain stream region, and then you go to the Piedmont, and then you go to the different regions of Georgia and see the native fish that are in those regions. You'll end up at the Blackwater Swamp, and we we have two 10-foot alligators out there on exhibit, which people really, really love. That's about as close as you need to get to an alligator safely.
That's right.
And then it makes a big circle and you'll come into our gallery. And we've got a lot of interactive exhibits here. We've got fishing simulators, like I said earlier. We've got a big tackle box over in the corner that you can actually press the button and hear a fisherman or a biologist talk about that lure. We've got a shooting sports room where you can hunt skeet. You can hunt just about anything you can imagine or shoot skeet. And then we've got a wildlife wall that's new to the center that has different animals that pop up, and it's really neat. And then last but not least, our brand new watershed exhibit. And we're super proud of that. We're just finishing that up. We've got a virtual sand table in there, and a water table, and a holotube, and lots of activities, absolutely lots. And then not to leave out our viewing window for our hatchery. You can actually see what we're raising in there and the projects that we're working on in there.
How many people work here?
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough. It is a 7-day operation, but all jokes aside, I have a staff of 7, and then I've got 4 hourlies currently. And so we're a small and mighty group, and you really work here for the passion of what you do. You really do, because it's a lot. I do. I do. I like to fish.
What's your favorite type of fishing?
I love a largemouth bass. I do. But I've caught, my biggest fish is a tarpon. I've caught a 97-pound tarpon when I was 11 years old.
So what's your largest fish story?
Whenever we fished on the beach, I've caught some pretty big sharks.
Yeah.
I mainly bass fish, and so I
Yeah.
do a lot of tournament fishing on some of the local trails. They always say that, like, if you're a guy, you never think that, like, you're completely out of a professional sport. It's like in the back of my mind, I know that I could, maybe one day make it. You never know. Probably won't, but it's definitely fun to chase.
I think you should, and we'll put a Go Fish wrap on your boat.
There we go, and we'll have the boat. I got my first sponsor. Hear this, babe, if you're listening. But no, fishing has been great for me, because fishing is one of those things that life is so busy, it's so chaotic, there's so much going on, and the one thing you're doing when you're fishing is you're waiting for that next bite. You are feeling for that next bite, and it is the ultimate way of centering someone and bringing them into the moment. And I think that's why it's so important what you guys do here.
Very well said. And I would agree too. I think it's just such a great sport. You don't have to be the biggest guy. You don't have to be the strongest person. You just have to be patient, patient and methodical, and just stay in it, just stay in it. And that's, I think, the appeal as far as the children and the people that come here. You've got the kids that are the jocks in high school. You've got the kids that are the smart ones that are getting all the honors awards. There's just with fishing, there's another level of opportunity for kids to be successful. And we are seeing that sport grow in the Houston County and the neighboring counties like crazy.
So can you throw a party down here?
You can,
Tell
absolutely.
us about it, what
Absolutely.
events that are, you can rent. Tell us a little bit about that.
So we host birthday parties here at the center. You can rent the center for a birthday party. You can rent the center. We've done wedding rehearsal dinners. We've done campaign events. You name it. We've done it. Christmas parties. There's different ways to do parties here at the center. We've got a theater that we can host about 57 people seated at a dinner here. And then if you want to grow larger, we've had 113, I think is the largest dinner that we've had here, and we utilize the gallery space. But it's really fun. We can turn on the simulators, we can open the aquariums, and the aquariums at night are beautiful. They're backlit and they're really pretty. So there's a lot of opportunities for that. Now we educate during the week, so like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays during the day. The education portion is the most important to us. So everything's mostly at night or on the weekends and the evenings.
How many people have you guys seen here in the past 12 months? How many people have come in your doors over the past 12 months?
Oh, gosh. Probably, like in a year, we will see anywhere from 28 to 30,000 people.
Wow. Wow.
So we see a lot of people. A lot of people.
That's amazing.
And I will brag on my staff. We fish with, I would say, 98% of them.
Do you really?
So we really, especially the school groups, unless it's lightning outside, we go outside and fish.
So that pond is the most pressured pond
It
in
is
the state of Georgia.
a high-pressured pond. It is a high-pressured pond, for
So,
sure.
I mean, you have the gear. I mean, If you want to fish out there,
Absolutely.
you don't have to bring any. You probably don't want people to bring things.
Right.
Just
No,
use-
they can bring their own equipment, because if you're like Philip, you like your own stuff.
He would
kinda when
catch
you're
all the
fishing.
fish, though.
But yeah,
Right.
but you can bring your own equipment. But if you don't want to fool with that, and you're bringing 6 or 7 kids with you, and you just want to show up, we have equipment. We have what we call snatch poles that are easy and not frustrating for the young kids. It's like what we used to call a cane pole, but and then we have casting rods, so we teach people how to cast, and we use a sophisticated bait, and we use hot dogs.
Yeah.
So, and the main goal in using hot dogs is because we don't want to turn anybody away from fishing. Some people, girls, boys, some people just don't want to touch worms and get messy, and so we use hot dogs. So that's encouraging everybody. You can touch a hot dog, to put it on the bait.
So how many people get hooked on fishing or get hooked personally?
Well, we hope everybody gets hooked on fishing, but I cannot say that we don't get. I mean, this morning with the group, a little girl got hooked, but Brave, we use barbless hooks. It took us about 6 months to a year to learn that when we first opened the center, but we use barbless hooks. So if you do get hooked, it's a quick, easy pull. There's no damage there. And so then we just, like today, we encouraged her. She got hooked. We put a little ice on there, and then we encouraged her to get right back out, and she did, and caught a fish. She caught a catfish.
There you go. So Tamatha, we've talked a lot about hooking stories, and someone earlier today that ended up getting hooked. Whenever we come back from this commercial break, I want to ask you about someone who maybe experienced fishing for the first time here, had their life changed because they got to feel a fish on the end of the rod. But first, let's take a break to hear a word from our sponsor.
Back several years ago, I had varicose veins, and I had the type veins that were big and distended. Being a firefighter is physically demanding. When you're at a working fire, you're on your feet for several hours. You are constantly getting up and down. When you're actually fighting fire, you're crawling around inside of a structure. And it does have a bearing on your legs, just your whole body, and that added to my problem. That's when I came to see Dr. Harper at Vein Specialist of the South. He actually corrected the problem, and he removed the diseased veins. It was outpatient. I was awake during the whole time, and it was really quite pleasant. He put on some of my favorite music. I kicked back, I let him do his thing, and the results were absolutely amazing. I was feeling a lot better. By my experience, Dr. Harper is a true pioneer in his field, and we're blessed to have him right here in Middle Georgia. If you are having a similar issue, call Vein Specialist of the South today.
Piedmont Macon is proud to be your partner in healthcare, in business and in the community. From our 2 convenient hospitals and ERs, our cardiac program, women's services, and urgent care centers, we provide Middle Georgians with comprehensive care close to home. Our goal is to empower you through great care that's simplified, unified, and easier than ever to access. Our mission is to make a positive difference in every life we touch. We want to be part of your family and your life, and to make our community a better place to live.
If you're having an issue with your vehicle, Rafield Tire Master is your one-stop shop for complete auto service. Is your car pulling to one side? We do alignments. Brakes not working or squeaking? No problem. If your check engine light comes on, our team can check it, fix it, and get you going. Whether you're driving to work or around the corner, we want you to drive with confidence. So visit one of our 6 Rafield Tire Master locations in Macon or Robbins, and log on to RafieldTire.com for more savings.
Everything is getting smarter. Good Think Flint Energies has the knowledge and expertise to help you make smarter work harder. Today, there are more ways than ever to make your world more energy efficient, and we can show you how. Take the next step to go electric and put the power of your co-op to work for you. Flint Energies is a Touchstone Energy Cooperative, your source for power and information.
Hey, I'm Dr. Ken Harper from Vein Specialist of the South. I'm really excited about being here today with my good friend Keith Keene. He's a retired Macon firefighter. He's a pretty big deal, and he's here today to share a little bit with us about his experience at Vein Specialist of the South.
It's been 9 years when I had my procedure done. I was looking to have something done. I went to a place, and I would say they did a treatment that I feel like didn't really address my problem. It was like a Band-Aid. So in my search, I found Dr. Harper, and From the time I went in for my consultation, he answered all my questions. There was a lot of pictures taken, and he was very, very thorough. I was in there for a while, and I was, pretty much a severe case. I had varicose veins, the kinds that bulge out, that are descended. I had them in both legs, but from that time right there, I knew I was on the right path, and I knew I was in the right place.
That's pretty amazing, 9 years. That's awesome. Now tell us a little bit about what the experience was like when you were having your procedure done.
It was outpatient. It was an outpatient procedure. You're awake the whole time. You put on some good music.
Right.
I'm just laid back. I'm letting you do your thing. And believe it or not, it was a pleasant experience. But like I said, I had to go in 3 days in a row because, like I said earlier, I was a hard case. And you said, I looked at you and I said, Dr. Harper, you earning your money with me. And he just smiled and kept working. So
yeah, it's not really work when it's something you love to do. So, and we love taking care of folks. Tell us a little bit about how life was different when you felt better.
It was an immediate improvement. The veins were gone because what you did is he actually removed the diseased veins, and that's what needed to be done, and that's what you said you were going to do. And I didn't have the tired, achy legs anymore, and I didn't have that self-conscious feeling of having ugly legs. And but it is something I absolutely just, very, very, thankful that I did. It was a huge success.
If there's some people watching today and they had issues with their leg, what would you tell them?
I would say it's a no-brainer. I mean, it really, it's something that can be fixed. There's no need to live with it, and I would say they need to call you.
All right.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town. We're here back at the beautiful Go Fish Center in beautiful Perry, Georgia. Tamatha, we were talking about some of the people that have been impacted by this place. Is there a story of someone that might stand out to you about about coming to this center really meant a whole lot to them?
Oh yeah, there are many actually. There are a lot, but one stands out in particular. We'd been here for a few years, and we had a nursing home facility call us, and several other residents. One in particular just wanted to fish one more time, just one last time, and so we made the arrangements. We got them in. We took them out fishing. We fished for a couple of hours. They caught fish, had a ball, and then I would say probably 2 or 3 days after that, the nursing home called and said that he had passed away, and that all he did was talk about his visit here at Go Fish and how he had the opportunity to fish one last time. And so it's moments like that. We take it for granted here sometimes as a staff, and I did growing up that, I had ponds to fish and I had places to go safely. Yeah. It meant a lot that we were able to provide that opportunity for him, and he died a happy person.
That's amazing.
It
so you
is.
think about also some of these kids that have been here, that they might not have another place to go fishing.
Absolutely.
They might not have the rod and reel to be able to go catch a fish, but you guys provide that experience for them. We
see it all the time, every day, really and truly. And some kids don't even know to reel. They just back up when they catch a fish. They just back up. And so, we provide an opportunity, and then we do give free pass when you come for an education program with a field trip at the school. We give a free pass to that child to come back. And I'd probably say 8 times out of 10, we will see that child with his parents that following weekend or, in the upcoming weekends, just because they got so intrigued by the sport and just the opportunity, because there's not a lot of opportunity for some kids to get out and have the tackle and to do it. And we provide it all here, so they've got that opportunity.
Can you tell us about the sturgeon project? That's been an ongoing project. And I think people would be pretty amazed at what is a sturgeon to begin with.
Yeah,
So people,
it's a species of fish. It's a lake sturgeon. They're found in the cold water up in the North Georgia areas, and their numbers got very depleted. And so about 20 years ago, approximately, the Department of Natural Resources, the fisheries section, took that on as a project. And we're super excited here at Go Fish because we have raised lake sturgeon here at the Go Fish Education Center hatchery for going on 16 years now. And the biologists have just said this last year, in the last couple of years, they found sexually mature sturgeon out in the wild. So the project is working, and we're working to restore those numbers, which provides a healthy balance in the fishery. So we're super excited about that. It's been a long and lengthy project, but a very beneficial to the habitat.
Do you guys strategically target other species like that around the state that might be depleted to be able to help increase those numbers?
Absolutely. Shoal bass, for instance, is one right now. Shoal bass, we do walleye. We strip spawn walleye in the March timeframe, and hatcheries all across the state. Some hatcheries will do Maronis. So that's sort of what fisheries does. They go out and they sample and they shock, and the biologists come back and say, okay, we need greater numbers in this species, and so then they'll task the hatcheries with producing those fish for the sport.
Have you ever been out there whenever they shock the water and all the fish come up?
Oh, I've been on a shocking boat. It is fantastic.
Is that not unbelievable to watch?
It is. We shocked up lots of largemouth bass and a beaver.
And a beaver.
A beaver. He was stunned. He came up for a quick second and then went back
and then
down.
He was good.
But yeah. But no, that is great fun.
Are there any fish hurt when you shock the water?
They're just stunned, and then they
Okay.
come
All right.
up,
So
and then they.
no fish were hurt
It's
by
not.
this.
No
Okay.
fish were hurt, and it provides great information for our biologists and when they go out and do these surveys, so they can tell a lot by that. But it does not hurt. It stuns them, and then they'll go back. But we're able to get a lot of research out of those expeditions.
You told us that the DNR supervises this project, and it's managed by them. But if people want to help, are there opportunities to help?
Oh yeah.
Are there opportunities to volunteer? If you want to help,
Absolutely.
what can you do?
You can contact us. We have an intern and a volunteer program here at the Go Fish Education Center. Like I said earlier, today we were fishing with over 100 second graders. And we're a small and mighty staff, but on top of fishing with everybody, we have to clean the tanks, we have to maintain the facility. And it's a very complicated, complex system that runs these aquariums and things. So it helps us to have extra hands and extra numbers in the building. So if you like to fish and you're retired or don't have a job and you want to get the benefit of watching these children squeal with excitement when they catch their very first fish, we're here for you.
I bet you guys hear a lot of squeals, don't you?
Oh,
when
my
kids are
stars!
here?
Oh, my stars! And they just run around the pond, and it really, you can have the worst of days, and then you go out there to fish with those kids, and it just puts you right back into knowing why you're doing what you're doing.
Tamatha, as we move towards wrapping up, where can someone go to learn more about what you guys do here?
Okay, we have a website. It's called at gofisheducationcenter.com. There is a lot of knowledge there. You can call us. We also have a Facebook page that you can visit, and it's got a lot of information about our education programs, which are super important component of the Go Fish Education Center. We are not open to the public technically Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays because we are hosting field trips and education groups, whether it be for adults, nursing homes, children, any kind of education program. We're doing that, and we try to keep a safe environment for those numbers while they're in the building, so we don't open to the public. And then we open to the public on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So we just want everyone to come out and visit and experience it. Even if you don't like fishing, there's something for everybody here. You can look at the fish, and who knows, you may end up liking fishing once you leave.
Tamatha, thanks so much for joining us this week. And if you're a teacher, if you're a parent, if you're a nursing home administrator, if you're in charge of a group of kids, I can't think of a better place to bring them than the Go Fish Education Center right here. Give Tamatha a call or go to the website. Thanks so much for joining us this week.
Thank you very much. I appreciate y'all coming on site and helping us spread the word about Go Fish.
And thank you guys for joining us as well. And stay tuned because you never know where me and Dr. Harper might show up next.